Hello, welcome back to my Frappe and ERPNEXT application development tutorial. My name is Anthony Emmanuel. This time around, I'm going to show you how to upload files and images using the REST API to the Frappe or ERPNEXT application. There is this question that says on the discuss.erpnext.com says upload files through REST API. Some question has been asked, but no much answer anyway. It's pretty easy to upload files using REST API as stated in the documentation. Clearly, from the documentation frappeframework.com, you can search for REST API. First results. Scroll down or to the right to see the last option here, file upload. Says there is a dedicated method API slash method slash upload file that accepts binary file data and uploads it to the system. And here's an example on how to do it using your CURL coil on your terminal. Nevertheless, often you would not do this because you would mostly be accessing your instance from a front-end application. Okay, and to implement the upload, you can see little instruction down here that says if you are using the client-side JavaScript to upload, you can append the uploaded file as form data and send the XHR request. Here is the documentation. You click on this implementation code and you'll be redirected to GitHub and straight to the part of the code that handles upload. Here is a sample of how you can upload these first three lines here. It's kind of an initialization, the URL where the file will be posted to, the file type, and that's the JSON file. And an header, the header has to do with the cross-site request forgery token. Then down here, you initialize your application or the file to be uploaded. First, you initialize the form data, the JavaScript form data, then append the file name should be file. You append this, the file to be appended. Name, this is optional. Then here is optional in terms of uploading to Frappe file manager. You'd be asked if it's optional, sorry, if it is private or public file, if what you are appending in uploading is a folder. Then this stands for uploading via a URL. We're going to be playing with this. Then this is for file attachments. If you are to attach it, make the file an attachment to a particular document, you would be adding this. Okay, and this is about executing a method after uploading the image file. And finally, you push that to the server. Okay, first off, I'll have to explain this on the front end. Here I have my file manager. You click on add. You have these options. This is set all as private. That is when the file is uploaded, should it be private? And that's here. This. Okay. You can try to upload, see avatar. Okay. You see this keypad is unlocked, means that it is public. If I click this, you see it's private, and click is public. And also you can also use this folder. That's just a simple definition here, private folder. Okay, let's test the waters by first trying to upload files. First, we'll upload a URL image and later we'll upload it directly from our application. All right, I've been working on this property application for quite a while now, working with estate management. Okay, first off, I'm going to look for one of the property. Okay, I just append it to an agent. So we'll have to create an agent and upload information about that agent, both the email, name, and okay, a profile picture of the agent from the front end, that's the web portal. But first, we'll upload an image directly to this agent profile. Okay, we're going to be working with the code base. There's my estate application as available on the GitHub repo. Okay, I'm going to be using the agent apply new file index.html and another file index.javascript. First, I'm going to write into the JavaScript. This is widening. Based on what we have here, I'm going to be writing exactly something like this, but it may not follow this format. Okay, first off, I'm going to initialize something, call it image or let's image file. Is assign new form data. This is a data by JavaScript class. That is an instantiation of this class for uploading data. Okay, next up is adding an image to this form class. First, I'll be adding an image from a URL before we upload manually or locally. Here we contain the URL to be uploaded. Okay, we're going to Google for a URL. Google for JavaScript. Yes, yes. Oh, sure. Should we upload? Let's try this. Okay, and grab this URL, paste the link here. That's pretty long. I have to break this down. Okay, next up, we're going to use the JavaScript fetch API. First, you feed in the URL. The URL, according to the documentation, is this. This kind of a method in Frappe that handles file upload. You're going to pass an header, else you be faced with an error. So I'm going to pass an header, and the header will contain CSRF underscore token. And in Frappe, the CSRF token name is X dash Frappe dash CSRF dash token. Then to get the token, you can check directly to find the token or request the token from the session. You can get the token from the session. You can get that with frappe.csrf token. Here is the session token. So we're going to be grabbing this, paste it here. Next up is the method. The method is a post request. And finally, the body. And the body would contain this. Then I would like to get a response after the submission. I'm going to use .then response. I'll pass that out as response rest or JSON. Okay, that's all. What have we done here? First, we initialize. This is vanilla JavaScript. Should I call it vanilla? It's a method or class, sorry, a class in JavaScript that enables you, to package data to be pushed to a remote server. That's what this is. Then this line here is I appended a remote URL to this instantiation. Then use the JavaScript fetch API to push this image file, this URL to the server. Then we still have to, append a token to the header so that Frappe can recognize that the call is legitimate. Then the method is a post to show that we are sending data to the server. Then the content, this contains what we are sending. We can test this directly from the browser to see what we get. Okay, first I have to delete what I have here. Paste the code here. I can expand this so you can see it and execute. If there's an error, we should get a response back. And here it says uncaught reference error from data is not defined. That's because this should be uppercase D like this. Oh man, just spelling error. Like this. Yeah, should be the same. Any other spelling error? Okay, can check out this promise fulfilled the response from it. Here's the response. So successful. We have the creation date, doc status. The doc type is file. The file name is this, just as we have here. One asterisk Excel, blah 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 blah. Then we move on to file URL where it was uploaded and some other information. I can refresh this and you'll see the file has been uploaded just here. You can try to open it to see. Here's the file URL. Think there's a little network issue here. It should have loaded the file. Okay, that seems to be that's the file uploaded. Next up, now you have seen how you can actually upload from a file. But how about attaching this to a particular document as attachments? Can use this for example, this attachment. How do you append to this place directly using REST API? We can do the same but with a little alteration. Mean that down here we can write image file append and we pass doc type. The doc type here is agent and the name of the document. You should be able to know how to pass it on agent. Are you serious? Okay, can check the response pending. Okay, not fulfilled yet. Hope is fulfilled. Still pending. Why is that? Let's check our server. Still processing. It's kind of downtime on the server. So it's completed already, but the promise is yet to return a response. Anyway, we've gotten the file already. Then we can check through the document itself to see if attachments. Now you can see the attachment appearing here. Here is the code. All you have to do for attachment is, and comment this down, is here. Okay, we initialize the form data, we pass the form URL, then this specifies that we are making this an attachment to a document. We pass the document type and the document name, send this as a post, and this gets to the URL as an attachment. How about uploading? Just like this, we have this upload image provided for us here via REST API. How do we go about that? Okay, what I'm going to do right now is going to write a portal application that users can use to apply directly for to be an agent. Okay, here I have my index.html. I can access this URL as this slash agent slash apply. One nine two 192.168.32.131 slash agents slash apply. I hope I'm right. Agents. Let me be sure. Oh, my bad. That URL is not correct. Agent slash apply. Okay. Now we have a blank page. Then I'm going to use Bootstrap. Bootstrap form. Okay, I'll be using this. Okay, really looking nice, but the document here contains the email, agent name, phone number, and image. First off, I'm going to give this an ID, agent dash form. Let's see about this and this. Don't know much about Bootstrap, or can use this. It should contain the email. Okay, it's validating that it should be required. It should not be submitted if not required. Do this for the rests. But this should only accept image, else it will kind of filter what you don't need. I'm going to check Bootstrap, HTML accepts image. That should be this. Oh, this is not looking clean. I still having last name here. Okay, I think I know why. Don't want to stress myself with CSS. Just give it a little space. And also pull it to the right. Okay, now we have something good to show. We have the email, the agent, the phone, and the image to be uploaded. And we should not be able to submit this form if all these fields are not filled. Okay. Next up is to write the front side scripts which you have done here. I'm just going to comment this out, leave it down here, go up here, and write the code. Okay, first off, I'm going to attach an event to the form. You can do that using the jQuery already provided by Frappe. You can check using Control U or right click, view page source, close this order. You scroll down and you'll find that jQuery has already been attached to this. See jQuery and Bootstrap. And not this. Yeah. The form name is, the ID is agent form. Okay, have it. 0. Oh, not this. No contents. It should be hash because it's an ID. That's the entire form content. Writing a method that once the form is submitted, prevent reloads, and here we execute our method. Okay, it's loading means that I will have to clear this cache. Now that it's loaded, you can check if the JavaScript you wrote is actually appended to this page. You can view the source, scroll down, and check if it has been appended. Okay. Let's see. It's not it. Should be appended after all this. Index.html. Whoa, I lost that. Save. Okay, seems to be appended now. Can test the form. Okay, nice. Nothing happens. Means that everything we wrote here is working perfectly fine. Next up is to go into the main method. So I'm going to be writing the method outside. Or how about we print console.log to be sure that we got the value e dot target. Okay, now we see that it works. It actually logged what we pulled out from here straight. Next up is to check how can we actually access this file uploaded here. You can do that directly first using jQuery and an ID. The form should have an ID. This image, okay, I'm gonna add an ID here. ID is image. Should be an hash image of 0. Okay. Dot files. Okay, there seems to be a file since you can see the length is 1. You see that the name is avatar, the size is 4880 bytes, and the type is image. So to get the actual image should be of position 0. Then you get the full information about what we have here. Okay, clear. Next up is to grab the content of this. And to grab that content, I'm just going to go back straight into my JavaScript and write the method. I might write a messy JavaScript here, but you can actually write a shorter code or write different functions to execute the upload. First off, I'm going to grab the entire content of this form. Okay, here's what this line does. Converts this into an array of dictionaries or array of objects. You have the key value, key value, key value. That's what it does. Or if you use just serialize, then it converts it into this pure form parameters that can be appended to a URL. So we're going to be using the serialized array, which retrieves this entire form except an upload or an image file. Any field type that is a file, it will skip it and go for the text, the bytes. This should be a blob. These are not blobs, are just text. So we've got that, but next is to actually pass this array into an object, only object, where we have this ASCII value. So we have in an object, we have email is assigned tmail, t@mail.com. Agent name is assigned the value. Phone number is assigned the value. There are different ways to write in JavaScript. You can use a for loop or you use reduce available. I will write it as a single line of quotes. Reduce. That should be object, comma, item. Then pass that as object of item dot name equal to item dot value, comma, object. Pass this. That's all. Okay, we can test that on the browser to be sure we got what we want. Okay, yeah, we have an object now, more like a Python dictionary. You have key value, key value, key value. But recall that this file will not be uploaded, just our text content, the blog will not. Okay, and that's fine now. Can push this directly to the agent via API. Okay, once that is done, we can initialize our, also get the image. And recall we got the image earlier using, not here, but here. Let this out. Using this. Okay. Before we proceed, I have to make something clear to you. If you are creating content via API, you have to be very careful. First off, I got the form content and got this image. You may be tempted to push it all at once, but recall that the API that handles CRUD is different from the API that handles file management. As can be seen here, the API for file upload is this. Why the API for CRUD is, okay, we might have to go back to Frappe framework. For the CRUD operation, first we are to use the read. Create. The create API is slash API slash resource slash the doc type name. Then you pass a method, post method that tells it that here is a post content. I want you to create something new with it or do something with it. And you'll be tempted to kind of, push the form text and the blob. The blob is the image file at once. You can't do that. On the other hand, you would want to push the image file and at the same time attach it to this text. You may have issue with that. So it's better off, in my own suggestion, it may not be right, I stand corrected. It's better off to create the text. You create the doc type first. Once you are done creating the doc type, then you can update that doc type with this image. Okay, that's what I'm going to do here. Next up is to push. Like I stated earlier, this code may not be clean, but it's just a proof of concept so you can understand how to work with it. Okay, have to check if this is not empty. Then I can actually use the fetch or post. You can use the Ajax query. You can use the Ajax query. You can use the Axios if you are using the React, Vue, Angular. You can use the fetch API. You can use XHR, whichever suits you. I'm going to use a mix of fetch and Ajax here. I'm going to use the await. I can use await here since this form is initialized as an async. Okay, $.ajax. Okay, first I can pass the URL, and the URL here should be slash API slash resource slash agents. And check that API slash resource slash doc type name. And the type. You can also use frappe.core, but I intend to use what's available outside of Frappe. So you can also work with its type is posts. As for the headers, you can pass the content type, content dash type. Then content type should be application slash JSON. Then remember to use the header x frappe dash csrf dash in. That should be gotten directly from frappe.csrf token. Then the data that should be appended. Recall that what we have in this line, what we have here is an object. Is an object. So to pass that, we have to use the JSON.stringify. Yeah, stringify makes it a string. You have makes it a string. When it gets to the backend, Frappe knows how to handle this. If you pass it directly, you may have issues. It's better you stringify it. Okay, here we can wait for response. You can use .then, .done, whichever works for you. Function, return. Okay, that's all I have for the now. Trying to post the form data first before the image. I initialize an Ajax, the URL, the type, headers, the data itself, that's the most important. Then a response from the server. Once that is done, I want this response printed. Response. Okay, and I can call this right here. Let's be sure no error. So I can always test using Cypress. Okay, we've got a response here. We can check to know what the issue is. Says server invalid request indicator red. And the issue is with the CSRF token error. So I'm going to check my code to see how I passed the, yeah, here's the issue. We have the row Frappe. It is not recognized. Something seems to be wrong. Let me see that. Save. Okay. Hope the spelling is correct. I have to retry that. And also check to be sure nothing was posted. Okay, successful. Here we got the response. You can see we have, here we have name, the name of the agent, posted the email, the doc type is agent, and the document name end with 0255. The phone number as well. We can check the agents to be sure this was correctly posted, and now we see it posted just now. Click on that, and you see our email agent phone. But this image is not there because we have not passed the image. Now this is successful. I might have to delete this because I intend to reuse the same data. I don't want to clutter my system. Okay, up to this point worked. Now we are done and we actually got this response, but I want unsuccessful response because I have to confirm the type of data that was returned. Okay, it returned the content as data. Normally it used to be message, but let's read the documentation. Okay, documentation returns it as data. That's what we have here. Okay, once I get data, if no data, it means an error was returned. If I can get this data, then I should be able to upload this image file. Once this image file is successfully uploaded, I'll pick the name of this image file, then update this document. One other thing, you can actually try to You can try to write this Ajax as a method that you can always recall. You pass the URL, the type, and data to it. But I'm just going to repeat this again and again and again. I would not really have time to do that in this tutorial, so you can do that yourself. If response.data mean data was returned and no, not this is for Python and JavaScript. Image data means that we were able to successfully get a file in the form. Then we can post our image. We can also append to the doc type, but I don't think that will be necessary here. By that I mean attachment. I am not interested in the attachment. I will just upload directly. I'll call it image response. So I'll wait. This time around, I told you I'm going to use a mix of fetch and Ajax. I'm going to use fetch. You can be consistent, but I'm just trying to show you that you can use the different methods available. And slash API slash methods slash upload underscore file. As seen here, oh, hope I've not lost it. Yeah, this. What am I passing? Passing headers. I do not really need this content type here. Just need only the header. Then method posts and the body. So here, no stringification. You don't need JSON.stringify. Just pass it image file and record this image file was initialized up here. Image file. We passed the image you retrieved from the form. Okay. Any other thing? No. So I intend to get a response with .then. The response should move to res.json. Yes, think this is all right. Res.json and .then call it data. Then I'll push that data console.log data. Okay, let's take a review. First off here, we posted to the document itself. And next up here, we post the image, we upload the image directly to the API that handles it. We just pass only the CSRF, the method, and the image itself. We got the response JSON, then print that response. I'm gonna save this and we can retry. If there's an error, we should get the error. You can also use a blank screen blank so that you should not be able to click the submit twice. Okay, now we're able to get the doc type data returned back to us. So what we have here as data. And at the same time, the image was also uploaded. That's what we got here. We can see the name, the document name of the image. The image file name is avatar.png. The file URL is /file/avatar. I would have loved to go into my sites, dev bench, sites, estate app, public, files, avatar. You see that. That's what we just uploaded. Yeah, we can also confirm from the file manager. Now you can see it here in the file manager. Boom. Recall I told you earlier you can append options like is private, uh, is folder or the folder it belongs to, just as described in this documentation. Private folder. And if you want it to be an attachment, you add this to it. Okay, but we are not done. This was successfully created, but we can't find it in this agent that we just created. So how do we kind of append it to this document such that it appears in this attach? But like I said earlier, I'm still going to delete this and delete what we uploaded. Like I told you, you can write all this fetch as a single method. You can always call over and over and over again. Okay, final, finally update documents. If data dot message, normally in most cases you get a message for successful and you should be able to check if there is an error as well, but I'm just going to go straight. Yeah, update agent, and recall that the URL, the file URL is in this document, message dot file underscore URL. That's where you retrieve it from. So I'm going to use Ajax again. You can still use the fetch. You can use Ajax. You can use anyone. I might have to copy this. Always write it as a single function you can call back. I'll repeat that. This time around, we are doing an update, and from the documentation, an update should contain the name. It should be updates. The update should be this API resource doc type, the doc name, then the body of what to be updated, and it should be a put. Normally, it should be a put or a patch request, for what we are provided with is a put. And how do we get the document name as per se? From what we retrieved earlier, and scroll up here, the data in itself, here's the data, has a name. We have the response.data.name. Where do we get that? I think I have response here. Yes, this response.data.name. You can rightly use backtick here. Backtick. rest.data.name. That should solve that problem. Then a put, not a post, a put. Then the data itself should be, yeah, a stringified data, but this time around, we are not pushing the whole data. We just push for the image, and the image would be this. Image should be assigned the data. What do we have here? This data. The data dot message dot file URL. How do we get that? This here, message.file URL, and recall that we retrieved it as what data finally as that. So it becomes data.message.file URL. Will be stringified, posted online. And I think we are done here. You can also watch for errors on your own. I'll test this. Reload. Just refreshing to be sure no data exists. Okay, cool. Now I'll go for that again. Let's see if any error, data, message. Boom, since no error means everything is successful. Now you can actually write your own method to show successfully registered or successfully applied. Then this page can refresh, empty this form, do something. But we are not interested in that here. I'm going to check the agent itself. An agent was created just now. Then I can open it and beautiful. Here you see uploaded file. You can click on the file and it opens it directly for you. Right. You can also see the file here. Attachments. And that should solve an issue with upload. We can recap once more. This code is not looking too neat, but you can adjust it yourself. First off, we try to get the form data just like this with this one liner. I will call this one liner. We serialized the form, converted it to an object, also got the image data. But if you have so many, you should know how to, look through the form to get the files. Then we initialize this for the file itself and appended it. Then first off, we made a create method to this object or doc type called agent. Once that's successful, we can uploaded this image, and with the data from the image, with data from the image, we updated the document. And that's it for the now. I hope you understood. If you still have questions about this or you don't really understand, you can drop a comment in the YouTube comment box below. Thank you once more. My name is Anthony Emmanuel. Keep subscribed so you can get any new video update on this Frappe development framework. Thank you.